welcome to the first episode of What Grinds My Gears. I'm Katya Agmi. What this show is a show that is me complaining about things, telling a story, or addressing current event issues. Today is just a story, episode 1, a story of how I got in the wheelchair, because that is the question I have received more than any other this entire school year. On August 25th, 2015, I attended a going away party. Everyone is going away to college. It was the last time I was going to see all my friends before they left me forever. So we're at my friend Squid's house. Now, I need to make sure that everyone knows that I am telling the truth when there were no substances at this party. No alcohol, no drugs. Nobody believes me when I say that, but I'm not just covering my own butt. There was nothing. Please believe me on that. I think I had a cup of soda, Coca-Cola, and maybe a piece of pizza. And we were just messing around. We have this weird projector screen. We're outside, and I get really weird when I'm outside, and it starts to get dark. Don't ask questions. But a Jonas Brothers song came on, which is the worst part of the whole story, that this happened to a Jonas Brothers song. I think it was year 3000. Things got a little crazy. I'm a big fan of the Jonas Brothers. And so I started dancing really hard. And our good friend, Harrison Clark, also a senior, convinced me that doing another split would be a good idea. I was like, heck yeah. I mean, we've been doing them the whole night. What's gonna go wrong this time? So, on the count of 3, we drop. I'm gonna film it. All right, that's cool. Let's do it. So he counts to 3, and we drop. And we drop. And I dropped. And boy, did I drop. I dropped. It popped. Pop. Like you could hear a pop. It was a weird noise to hear coming from your body because it kind of sounded like a balloon exploding after being shot with a gun. And I was just like, everything went silent and like I couldn't see. I wasn't alive. I was like outside of my body looking down as I lay there paralyzed. And I just kind of rolled over and bent my leg, and then it wouldn't move again. I was like, wow, my leg is split in half. There's no way that I'm still alive here. And I'm like trying to laugh, like this isn't real, laughing, like just dying, really. And they're like tears coming down my face. I'm like, and there's tears. Anyway. They're all like, wow, Katya, I think you're dead. Harrison Clark's laughing. He sends the video, the video of my death, to some kid over Snapchat, so that's not even around anymore. Squid's mother and her brother, they're both nurses at Griffin Hospital. So we call them out there. She's like, wow, we should take you to the emergency room. I'm like, okay, whatever. And they're like, all right, Katya, we're going to help you up. Can you move your leg? No, ma'am. I cannot move my leg. There was no chance that that was ever going to happen. So they load me into one of their wheelchairs that they have lying around their house, Lord knows why. And they bring me into the car. This is all very, very difficult, might I add. It's like 10:30 at night, so it's not that late, whatever. So I call my mother. I'm like, hey, Susan, we're going to the hospital. My leg is broken, it's gonna fall off, amputation. Meet us there. Okay. And then I get to the hospital and we pull up and, my mother's waiting there and the emergency people come out and he's like, all right, how much do you weigh? I was like, weird first question, but here you go. And so he's like, all right, I can do that. And he picks me up without any warning and I scream because there's lots of pain. And they put me onto the little gurney, and they wheel me in, and then as they're bringing me into the emergency rooms, I just wave to my friends who I will not see for months. Still haven't seen them again. Wave to them as I'm being pulled in. I'm in the emergency room, and I'm waiting for the doctor to come in and check on me. Dr. Gregory Bell, I think he was the main doctor on call that night. He comes in, and before you have an x-ray, they always ask you, are you pregnant? I answer, no. No chance I'm pregnant. But thank you for asking. Well, why not? There are many ways I could have answered this question, and I wasn't sure exactly how, considering my mother was in the corner of the room. Let me tell you, I have never been more confused by a question in my entire life. Why am I not pregnant, Dr. Bell? Well, because I have had the where do babies come from talk. I have not engaged in any questionable activity that would lead to the creation of a child. I am happy for your concern, but please trust me on this one. You know, a lot of young girls come in here claiming they are not pregnant, and it turns out they're pregnant. Well, I assure you, I am not one of those girls. We're going to order a pregnancy test for you just in case. Listen, Doc, I'm not going to take your pregnancy test, dude. I'm not pregnant. I've got no pee in me. I don't know how you want me to do this. I can't move. Not pregnant. My mother is standing in the back of the room laughing her head off. I am just like, what am I? Should I say yes? I mean, what do I tell this man? This goes on for a good long while, and eventually he leaves to get a pregnancy test, I assume. He did not back down. The other nurse lady comes in, asks me if I'm pregnant. No, I'm not. She's like, all right, let's take you down for x-ray. I'm like, thank the Lord for these lady doctors who believe lady teens that are not pregnant. I don't know what this guy was implying. So they take me down to the x-ray center, and the technician who's setting me all up very carelessly, doesn't know what he's doing. Griffin Hospital is not the hospital to go to if you have anything wrong with you. Maybe if you get like an excessive paper cut, go and ask for a Band-Aid. So they lay me down on the table, and they have to put that board underneath you. I don't know what it does, but they put that board, if you know what I'm talking about. And so they're adjusting me, and every little movement's really difficult. There's like shooting pain. It was blinding. I've never experienced anything like it in my life. So he shoves the board under my hip, like ruining my life. And I'm like, I yip, because that's what I do. I just yip. It's a reflex. And he's like, oh, sorry, did I do something? Yes, you did. But that's okay. We will learn from this mistake. He didn't. He did this multiple other times. It was not a good experience. They take the x-rays, and I go back to the room, and I'm waiting for a few more hours. So they come back, they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. You have a hip strain. They strained my hip. You know, this blinding pain is a hip strain. I pulled a muscle. Nothing wrong with me. They send me home. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I stop at Walgreens to pick up some pain meds, because no way am I getting through any amount of time without any pain medicine. I go home. A few days later, nothing's changed. I go to get an MRI after seeing a specialist. It's a giant magnet, so there's no metal in there. So I have to, you're not supposed to wear your contacts either for whatever reason, so I have to take off my glasses, and I'm so blind when I don't have my glasses. So I leave those outside the room, and I can't bring my crutches in there because metal. And so I lean them on the side, and this little boy, he was so tiny, the guy who was running the MRI, he's like, all right, let me help you in there. I probably weighed 3 times as much as him. He was like maybe 5'2", and the skinniest boy you will ever see. He was really funny though. I don't know, he kept saying weird things. So he's helping me in here, and I'm like, I'm gonna break him. It was a weird experience. And he lays me down, and he puts headphones on me. He's like, what kind of music you listen to? So I'm like, this is a weird thing. Weird question to ask. And I'm like, you know, whatever, man. Don't give me any of that country stuff. I'm not into that. And he's like, how about alternative? That's always cool. And I'm like, heck yeah, man. Put some of that on. And he puts on this weird stuff. It's like some weird electronic music. And I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to complain. And they stick me in the tube. And my head is like at the break. So there's like real life here, the room, and then the machine on the rest of me. There's a weird pillow under my leg, and it's just this area. And an MRI, it slices your body in half with the images and layers them on top of each other so you can like basically scroll through the layers of your body. After the MRI, they give me a copy of the disc that has all the images on it. And I'm at home and I'm scrolling through, and the legs look so different. I'm like, I'm no doctor, but I was right. There is nothing wrong with me. So we go back to the doctor. It turns out I completely ripped 2 of the 3 hamstring muscles completely off the bone. But I had a hip strain. This calls for surgery. We're just gonna drill titanium bolts to your pelvis and lace the muscle through. All right, that's cool, whatever. I'll be a robot now. And my biggest concern was that going through airport security, since I'm already a target being Middle Eastern, especially when I'm traveling with my father, if I set off an alarm, I would never leave that airport. I would go straight to jail. Luckily, titanium doesn't set these things off. I was like, thank the good Lord. September 15th, I have the surgery. It was so weird. It was the weirdest experience of my life. I go into the room, and everything is white. I don't know why they don't color code things. I feel like everything blends together. Otherwise, they're all wearing like pastel scrubs. I don't know what that's about. And they lay me on the table. They're giving me an epidural, which I thought was weird. Like, I was supposed to have general anesthesia. That's what you give a person who is going under major surgery. But no, they give me an epidural and a sedative. They lay me on the table, they're like, lay on your side, so I'm laying on my side, and they're about to inject me with the stuff, and I have an asthma attack on the table. The doctor's not even in there. I just like stop breathing, and then I'm like, whoa, what's happening? And so this lady's just like, somebody get us some oxygen. And this Dr. Carl, he was really funny. He like got lost on his way. He's like, I went into the wrong room, and I was like, oh my God, I lost the patient. He had a strange voice, kind of like mine, so you can imagine hearing that when you can't see it. Kind of scary when you're in an all-white room. He's in there, so he like slaps a mask on me and he puts it on wrong, so it's like all over my face. I swear this guy was an intern. He should not have been in that room. And I pass out. So I didn't get to experience them, sticking a needle into my spine and numbing me. But then I go to sleep. Surgery takes a really long time, but I wake up and all is well. Now, that is why I am in a wheelchair. I am healing. I am going for physical therapy, which is also really weird. I was there at 7:30 in the morning a few days ago. And the lady's like, all right, pull down your pants. I was like, you're going to have to tell me a little bit more before that happens. They're going to do an ultrasound on the incision, which is right under my butt, right there. And so they go to start that. And it's so early in the morning. I'm so tired. I haven't had any coffee or anything. I'm just so tired. I'm laying face down on a table with my entire butt exposed. And she's squirting the ultrasound goo. It's very cold. Squirting that onto my butt. And then she's offering me, as she's squirting this, hey, Katya, would you like a pink cupcake? And I look at the clock, and I look back at what she's doing, where her hands are, and I'm like, no thank you, Catherine. I'll pass. And she's like, all right. And she goes and gets a cupcake. She's eating a cupcake as she's doing this. It was so uncomfortable and so weird. And then one of the physical therapists comes in the door, and he just puts down his coffee and starts laughing at this image. Because why would this happen? Who else would this happen to? I mean, what 17-year-old girl breaks her leg doing a simple split to a Jonas Brothers song in 2015? Anyway, it was really weird, and part of me thinks I was dreaming. I don't think it was real, but I've confirmed it with my mother, who was waiting patiently in the waiting room, listening to me complain about what was going on. I am out of the wheelchair on November 2nd, which is the beginning of next week, and then I will be on crutches, and I am very happy about it. So, basically, moral of the story, don't do splits, don't listen to the Jonas Brothers, don't trust Griffin Hospital, and make sure you take the pregnancy test. Otherwise, they will never stop talking. Thank you for listening to my story. That's what grinds my gears.